Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Christina Lister, and in this video, aka my last video of 2025, I will be doing my reading roundup of all the books I read in December. So I read 8 books this month, which is kind of a lot for me. The first one that I read was H2O by Virginia Bergen, which is book 1 in the Rain duology. It's in the rain, and just one drop will kill you. They don't believe it at first. Crowded in Zach's kitchen, Ruby and the rest of the partygoers laugh at Zach's parents' frenzied push to get them all inside as it starts to drizzle. But then the radio comes on with the warning, it's in the rain, it's fatal, it's contagious, and there's no cure. 2 weeks later, Ruby is alone. Anyone who's been touched by rain or washed their hands with tap water is dead. The only drinkable water is quickly running out. Ruby's only chance for survival is a treacherous hike across the country to find her father, if he's even still alive. Overall, I did not like this book. The main character, Ruby, I found her to be immature, and I know it's a YA book, but it read more like a middle grade book because of how immature she was, and whiny. And also the premise of the book, the killer rain itself. My question is, why are we not just using Brita filters? We're not even going to acknowledge that Brita filters exist. Like, I get that standing outside in the rain will kill you. That part I understand. But why can we not just use Brita filters to get more drinkable water? Next up, we have Fallen, the first book in the Fallen series by Lauren Kate. There's something achingly familiar about Daniel Grigory. Mysterious and aloof, he captures Luce Price's attention from the moment she sees him on her first day at the Sword and Cross boarding school in sultry Savannah, Georgia. He's the one bright spot in a place where cell phones are forbidden, the other students are all screw-ups, and security cameras watch every move. Even though Daniel wants nothing to do with Luce and goes out of his way to make that very clear, she can't let it go. Drawn to him like a moth to a flame, she has to figure out what Daniel is so desperate to keep secret, even if it kills her. This book was very underwhelming. That's probably because I read the summary in the front of the book. You know, the one where it's like in the front pages of the book, and it has like those topics that are in the book. I read that before I read the book and got a pretty major plot point spoiled for me. So, yeah, if you want to read this book, do not read the summary at the front of the book. Next up is The Lucky Ones by Liz Lawson. How do you put yourself back together when it seems like you've lost it all? May is a survivor, but she doesn't feel like one. She feels angry and lost and alone. 11 months after the school shooting that killed her twin brother, May still doesn't know why she was the only one to walk out of the band room that day. No one gets what she went through. No one saw and heard what she did. No one can possibly understand how it feels to be her. Zach lost his old life when his mother decided to defend the shooter. His girlfriend dumped him, his friends bailed, and now he spends his time hanging out with his little sister and the one faithful friend who stuck around. His best friend is needy and demanding, but he won't let Zach disappear into himself, which is how Zach ends up at band practice that night. The same night, May goes with her best friend to audition for a new band, which is how May meets Zach and how Zach meets May, and how both might figure out that surviving could be an option after all. This book was just, okay. It's one of those books where, like, all the problems could have been solved if the two main characters had just, like, been honest with each other and talked about stuff from the very beginning. Obviously, the subject matter is very serious, but I could have used more moments of levity to kind of create a balance instead of the whole book just being like a dirge, if that makes sense. Next up, we have Plays Well with Others by Lauren Miracle. Best-selling children's author Lauren Miracle makes her literary fiction debut with a gripping suspense novel about the dark side of perfect parents in a tightly knit suburb. Jacqueline, Jake, Nolan has lost a lot: her stillborn son, her marriage, and her job and reputation. Still grieving, she makes a determined effort to start over. She settles into a new house and, buoyed by a growing friendship with an upbeat woman named Mabel, begins to believe a brighter future is ahead. But this charming little neighborhood across the street from an elementary school conceals an undercurrent of darkness and rage. I thought this was a very slow-moving thriller, and I generally prefer my thrillers to be very fast-paced, can't look away, don't want to stop reading type books. I will say the plot did sort of pick up in the last 10% of the book, but by then I fear it was a little too late to capture my interest. Next up, we have They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera, which is the first book in the They Both Die at the End series. On September 5th, a little after midnight, Deathcast calls Mateo Torres and Rufus Emeterio to give them some bad news. They're going to die today. Mateo and Rufus are total strangers, but for different reasons, they're both looking to make a new friend on their end day. The good news, there's an app for that. It's called The Last Friend, and through it, Rufus and Mateo are about to meet up for one last great adventure, to live a lifetime in a single day. Adam Silvera reminds us that there's no life without death and no love without loss in this devastating yet uplifting story about two people whose lives change over the course of one unforgettable day. This was a very interesting book to read if you are as afraid of death as I am, which is to say, very. It's obviously an objectively well-written book, but I definitely had some minor qualms with it. I had a lot of questions about how exactly Deathcast works. And I thought that the, spoiler alert, romance between Mateo and Rufus, considering they had just met that day, was slightly rushed and unrealistic. But overall, I would say this is an objectively good book. Next up, we have Fake Skating, the 2025 winner for readers' favorite young adult fiction for the Goodreads Choice Awards. From the #1 international best-selling author of Better Than the Movies, childhood sweethearts reunite in a hockey-loving town where romance is about to heat up the ice. From playdates on the playground to sneaking into movie theaters, Danny and Alec were inseparable as kids, until Danny moved away. Years later, Danny is back in Minnesota and excited to reconnect with the nerdy and comforting Alec. But teenage Alec is nothing like the boy she remembers. He's the hockey star in a town where hockey players are worshipped as gods, and he loves it. When one thing leads to another and Danny and Alec find themselves thrown together and playing the role of boyfriend and girlfriend, complicated becomes an understatement. In this Minnesota town, hockey may rule, but romance is about to take its place. A swoony, boy-next-door fake dating romance from the New York Times bestseller, Lynn Painter. I did not enjoy this book. I thought it was far too long and lacking in plot, and altogether eerily similar to the experience I had reading Falling Like Leaves, which is a very similar book to this one. But yeah, I would not have voted for this to win the Goodreads Choice Award. I'm not 100% sure how it did win the Goodreads Choice Award, but it's not up to me. I mean, I voted, so I did all I could do. Next up, we have Sisters in the Wind by Angeline Boley, another nominee for Reader's Favorite Young Adult Fiction 2025 for the Goodreads Choice Awards. From the instant New York Times bestselling author of Firekeeper's Daughter and Warrior Girl Unearthed comes a daring new mystery about a foster teen claiming her heritage on her own terms. Ever since Lucy Smith's father died 5 years ago, home has been more of an idea than a place. She knows being on the run is better than anything waiting for her as a ward of the state. But when the sharp-eyed and kind Mr. Jameson with an interest in her case comes looking for her, Lucy wonders if hiding from her past will ever truly keep her safe. 5 years in the foster system have taught her to be cautious and smart, but she wants to believe Mr. Jameson and his friend not friend, a tall and fierce-looking woman who say they want to look after her. They also tell Lucy the truth her father hid from her. She is Ojibwe. She has had a sister and more siblings, a grandmother who'd look after her, and a home where she would be loved. But Lucy is being followed. The past has destroyed any chance of normal she has had, and now the secrets she's hiding will swallow her whole and take away the future she always dreamed of. I didn't really like this book either. It was very confusing. I literally did not know what was going on like 99% of the time. So it was just very hard to get into and hard to enjoy for me. And finally, our last book that I read in 2025, We Fell Apart by E. Lockhart, book 3 in the We Were Liars series. Another nominee for Reader's Favorite Young Adult Fiction in 2025 for the Goodreads Choice Award. The invitation arrives out of the blue. In it, Matilda discovers a father she's never met. Kingsley Cello is a visionary, a reclusive artist, and when he asks her to spend the summer at his seaside home, Hidden Beach, Matilda expects to find a part of herself she's never fully understood. Instead, she finds Mir, her long-lost open-hearted brother, Brock, a former child star battling demons, and brooding, wild Tatum, who just wants her to leave their crumbling sanctuary. With Kingsley nowhere to be seen, Matilda must delve into the twisted heart of Hidden Beach to uncover the answers she's desperately craving. But secrets run thicker than blood, and blood runs like seawater, and everyone here is lying. I actually really enjoyed this book, which was such a relief after a string of books I did not enjoy as much that I read for the Goodreads Choice Award Long List Challenge. I liked the mystery aspects to it. I just really enjoy the author's writing in this series in general. Very fast-paced, very exciting. Maybe a little thin on plot, but I didn't even care. Well, that is it for 2025. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and sign up for the Murder Mystery Readathon. I have a video all about it, and it starts in February. You're the best!